Hi. Welcome to the fourth episode of Nordic Sports News Podcast, the world's first cross-country ski and biathlon podcast, with daily news from around the globe. Starting today's podcast with news from the Swedish cross-country ski team. The Swedish Olympic hopefuls Frida Karlsson, Linn Svahn, Maja Dahlqvist and Kaja Haverson dropped the season's last altitude training camp. This is confirmed by the Swedish Ski Association on its website on Monday. Karlsson, Svahn, Dahlqvist and Haverson will all be home when their national team colleagues travel to Italian Valsanales this week. According to national team manager Anders Bistrom, it is individual assessments that form the basis for the 4 Olympic medal candidates not traveling to altitude. The Norwegian cross-country national teams for men and women are currently at a training camp in Livigno. On the second news of today, we are talking about where to watch cross-country ski races on TV this winter if you are from Norway and Sweden. Information brought to you by Langgren.com. 4 channels will broadcast cross-country on TV this winter. In Sweden, it is the Swedish channel TV6 that will broadcast the World Cup in cross-country skiing this winter. As of October 1st, this channel was moved out of the basic package for TV providers. This means that you have to pay extra to be able to watch cross-country skiing on TV for the winter. For many years we have been used to cross-country skiing being broadcast on NRK. Statskanalen has largely broadcast all the major cross-country competitions, with a few exceptions. Then mainly the Olympics in Sochi, TV2, and Pyeongchang, TV Norway, and the World Cup races in Switzerland, TV2, in recent years. This winter, the situation is temporarily different and 4 channels share the rights. The reason why this has happened is how international cross-country skiing is organized. In the International Biathlon Federation, IBU, for example, the federation itself owns the TV rights and sells everything in a large package to a distributor. In cross-country skiing, FIS does not own any rights, it is the federation of each individual nation that does. In Norway, the Norwegian Ski Association sells the rights to Lillehammer, Drammen, and Holmenkollen. The Swedish Ski Association does the same with its World Cup competitions in Falun. For a long time, they have managed to keep it together, but with a changed media picture, and more players, the broadcasts are now split between several channels. Here, Langgren.com gives an overview of which competitions you will find on which channels for the winter. NRK. Together with TV2, NRK shares the rights to the World Cup races that take place in Norway, Austria, and Switzerland, either races in Lillehammer, Davos, Drammen, and Holmenkollen. All cross-country skiing and Visma ski classics. World Cup. National races. This includes the season opener at Beitostølen, National Championships Part 1 in Harstad and Part 2 at Lygna. If Norway is awarded the Junior U23 World Championship at Lygna, NRK will broadcast live. All World Cup races and Olympics will be broadcast live on radio. TV2. Together with NRK, TV2 shares the rights to the World Cup races that take place in Norway, Austria, and Switzerland, either races in Lillehammer, Davos, Drammen, and Holmenkollen. TV3, Viaplay. All World Cup races with the exception of those in Norway, Austria and Switzerland. TV Norway, Discovery. Olympic Games in Beijing. Cross-country manager Espen Bjørvig has previously expressed concern about the trend of splitting the rights of several players, and the Ski Association has worked actively to get a collaboration across the channel so that information about which channel the next race goes on reaches the public. The total amount of cross-country skiing that is broadcast on TV will be record high, so it remains to be seen if everyone manages to keep track of where the cross-country skiing is broadcast at any given time. On the third news of the day, we talk about the knee injury for Dario Colonia after a fall in training. The Swiss Olympian was injured when he fell during a roller ski training, causing a strain on his posterior cruciate ligament and a bruise on his meniscus. In Switzerland there is some concern for Dario Colonia. At 35, the 4-time Olympic champion is preparing the season for what should be his last Olympics. The Swiss Olympian, however, suffered a bad setback in recent days, due to a fall on the roller skis that caused knee problems. According to reports from the Swiss media, the tests to which the athlete underwent showed a strain to the posterior cruciate ligament and a contusion to the meniscus. The recovery times are not yet clear, but according to the news coming from Switzerland, Cologne's participation in Ruka's competition should not be a risk. Fourth news of the day is about the environment and C8 fluoride waxes. From this season, waxes of this type, considered polluting and dangerous, will be banned in all FIS and IBU competitions. As of this season, all teams will no longer be able to use or transport Type C8 fluorinated waxes. However, these same teams will still be able to use C6 fluorinated waxes for one more year. The total ban on fluoride waxing, which was to come into effect last season, this time being pushed back to the start of the 2022 to 2023 season. This will apply to all ski and biathlon races, including the Olympic Games. All the old stocks of fluorinated waxes must be destroyed or used at the amateur level during outings out of competition. Suddenly each team will almost have to start from scratch to find good compromises for skiing. Only the experiments carried out last year with C6S, judged to be also fast, will be used for the future, as well as the new waxes, non-fluorinated, judged to be fast. The implementation of this new regulation will involve significant financial costs for all nations and many questions regarding future controls. On the fifth news of the day, we continue with biathlon and the situation with Swedish biathlete Hanna Öberg and her lack of energy last season. Last year, Hanna Öberg stepped over a border she does not like that she crossed. She felt the consequences of a lack of energy. For me, it is very important that I'm healthy. It must be sustainable. Because we also know that if you are on the wrong side, it may not be really sustainable in the long run, Hanna Öberg tells SVT Sport. At the end of last season, the form of Hanna Öberg declined. The team around her came to the conclusion that during periods she had had low energy availability, or what we in everyday speech call energy deficiency. I would say that I have a pretty good knowledge of how much I have to eat and how much energy I have to replenish when I train and compete. But last winter I had some competitions where I could dig a little deeper and get out a little more, says Hanna Öberg. It required a higher level of recovery. I did something as usual, while something a little extra was required, and that is probably what we came to, she continues. Diet registration has led to adjustments. Hanna Öberg and her dietitian Linda Backman, who works for the Swedish Olympic Committee, have come to the conclusion that it was most likely already last summer a period when she did not get enough food and energy in relation to the energy she made up with during the workouts. I must not be careless. I might have let go of that focus 100%, knowing that I'm on the right side, says Öberg. The national team skiers regularly do different types of examinations and measurements to ensure that the energy intake, over time, is as it should be. During a period this spring, Hanna did, among other things, a diet registration. All food was weighed on a scale, ingredients and quantity were entered into an app, and based on that information, they could, among other things, calculate the energy intake. Öberg has, for example, seen that she has to get more food during the late evening snack to keep the energy level high enough during the night, and she has also increased her energy intake during certain types of workouts, especially during the strength sessions, where I have not really used that much of sports drinks before. I have now gone up and drink sports drinks even during those sessions, Hanna says. The plan this summer and autumn has been to correct so that the energy intake now provides extra margins for the upcoming season with the Olympics in Beijing in February. So ready I have this with me and have learned something from it, so hopefully I will not end up there again. And I would have done it, yes, as it was, last year, then it would have been this winter, says Öberg. And to wrap up our news tour today, we have 2 long-distance cross-country skiing information for you. According to World Loppet, König Ludwig Lauf is offering 100% guarantee for their participants in 2022. Not only does European summertime end on October 31st, but also the early bird discount for signing up to the König Ludwig Lauf ends on October 31st 11:59 p.m. Until then, you may register for the König Ludwig Lauf 2022, taking place on February 4th to 6th, in order to benefit from reduced entry fee. In addition, amongst all completed registrations by that date, a pair of XEM Skating Premium S2 including Race Pro skate binding, total value is €625, will be raffled. Not sure if you should register? Cost times are too insecure? Yes, you definitely should. It is time to come back to marathon skiing, like we know and love it. In order to give you the security you need to register, the König Ludwig Lauf is offering a 100% guarantee. That means, in case the König Ludwig Lauf 2022 needs to be cancelled for any reason, or you provide evidence for being unable to arrive due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the entire entry fee paid will be transferred to 2023, if desired. That is the 100% guarantee to you. And now, the last but not the least news of the day, and according to Landgren.com, Sovereign to Silverstar joins Canada's first Visma Ski Classics event as a new 2-day Challengers race. The new Challengers race is being held in and around Silverstar Mountain Village east of Vancouver, one of British Columbia's largest ski destinations and known for its snowshoe conditions. Sovereign to Silver Star runs over 2 days and offers 2 distances both days, 42 kilometers and 21 kilometers. On Saturday, April 2nd it is only classic, and on Sunday, April 3rd it is freestyle/skating. The trail is the same both days, from point to point, or according to the organizer, point to party, starting at the World Cup Stadium in Sovereign Lake and finishing at the square in the ski destination Silver Star. Sovereign to Silver Star is Canada's first Visma Ski Classics event, and the only one in North America next to the American Birkie. And that's all for today. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Spotify and Instagram. Just type Nordic Sports News on these platforms and access our content. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow in the next episode. Information credits for Nordic Mag, SVT, NRK, World Loppet, Ski Nordique, Fondo Italia, and Langgren.com.